Hello everyone, this is session 2 of introducing a horse to crunches that is new both to crunches and to clicker training. If you haven't seen session 1, make sure to go back and watch it. I'll link to it up here. As you can see, the weather has turned. This is only 1 week later and we've changed from thick coats to shorts. And we are now on the pasture and have created a little square to block out the other horses. I'm starting with a position that worked well, putting a little pressure on his hind end, and you can see him rocking back. He is still parked out quite a bit with front and back legs, but this is mostly just to remind him of what we're doing, and you can see some beautiful weight shifts here. I especially like how calm he is waiting for the food, because that's an issue with him. And I'm now at his side giving some input, which is always more difficult. And as you can see, he was starting to walk towards me and I clicked and thereby stopped him just in time. Now I'm choosing the easier option again. He needs a bit of time, but you can see when he goes back how much of a weight shift we had there. Look at this, and now moving forward. So crunches might not be a lot of backlifting in the beginning. They might start just like this with tiny movements that are barely perceivable to the naked eye. I'm trying to feed him extra low so that if he moves his head up, we get an automatic crunch already. We are now seeing this very same crunches from a different angle. That's interesting because you can see how the muscles move and how perception differs if you're looking from the front or from the side. And here you probably saw nothing, and maybe if you have very keen eyes, you saw a little bit of engagement in the chest muscles, as you saw here. And you could also see his belly sort of moving up and back a little bit. This is now me standing at his side, and you can see that he's starting to move, and this is why the movement backwards and up is bigger, and I managed to stop him just in time. So if your horse starts moving a little bit, don't worry. If you can't get them to stop moving, like walking around, there are a couple of tricks that you can use. You can see me now slightly shaking his tail, and this was a really nice crunch. You can see him lifting up, moving backwards. He still has one leg parked out, but that also means that the other leg is taking a little bit of weight and he's moving backwards over the leg. And as he finds it very difficult, I'm happy to do it leg by leg. Okay. We had taken a little break here. I gave him some food from the food bucket, and I used the opportunity to start with some tactile input. So he's busy eating the food. And I'm using a little wooden roller to draw attention and fire some mechanoreceptors in his back, in his belly, in his legs, everything and everywhere he seems to have trouble. But you never know what part of the body will lead to a change. So I am just including everything. His neck muscles are built up in the places we don't want, very stiff in other places. So that's also a good place to give some tactile input. And you never know what magic might unlock a big change for your horse's brain and lead to amazing crunches. I have now taken the opportunity that we have the food bucket there to try if we can do crunches from the food bucket, because his head then is already lowered and it might lead to an automatic crunch if he raises his head. You can see that he struggled a little bit here and walked backwards and also wasn't quite sure what happened to his food. Remember, this horse doesn't know any of this, and I'm just trying things, going at a very high speed and see what we can work with. If the food bucket doesn't work for him, that's okay. We don't need you to use it. For other horses, it might be easier. We are now taking a break and I'm getting a towel, but before I show you this, I want to show you this crunch again. Look at his hind legs and you can see how he is starting to take on weight with his hind legs and then feeling he needs to step one leg backwards to stay in balance. I will show it to you one last time in slow-mo. He's moving up and back, taking on weight, and here he steps back his hind leg, saying, I can't do it. Okay, back to the present. We had a little break and I got a towel to put on his back. Things like towels, jackets, sweaters, whatever you can find, sometimes help to draw awareness to the region around the withers that we want lifted, and it helps some horses to start lifting their back instead of only moving backwards. For some horses it doesn't help at all. They might need serious weight like 10 kg or more to actually start lifting the back, to have a good reason to do so. We have a little bit of frustration here. I was challenging him a bit and you can see that he got frustrated. He has no basic training in positive reinforcement, so he doesn't know yet how to go back to default neutral. If this problem had persisted, I would have worked on it more, but he was doing so well that we just continued, and the pawing was a very persistent habit before we started working, and we figured it out relatively quickly. You can see some interesting repetitions here, some stepping back, some weight shifts. I don't really see a big difference that the towel caused. I loved this one because we had the right leg taking weight and not only the left one. That is probably the thing I would recommend you pay attention to in these early stages of the crunches. It doesn't matter that they are a certain form. We don't need a back lift yet. We don't need a large lean backwards, but we want different crunches. We do not want to lock in on a certain head or foot position. So make sure that if your horse doesn't do it on their own, you walk a little bit between crunches to change how they're standing. Try to make sure to feed in different positions so you get different neck and head positions to start from. Make sure you don't click a certain movement only, because we don't need the one perfect crunch. We need many different crunches that can be used in all kinds of situations. This is what will make an agile, a strong horse that can lift their back in all kinds of situations.